All right, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to a very special live stream on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. This is amazing right here. This is like history in the making right here. This is actually one of the first. No, like seriously, like this is like the first interview that I've done on my channel, and I've had my channel since 2017, and you are the first person
Wow.
that I'm interviewing on my channel. So I am very excited about that.
I'm honored.
Oh, yeah, exactly. This is a groundbreaking situation right here. So I'm definitely glad that you are here. If y'all are coming into the chat, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Let this algorithm, shake a little bit so more and more people can come in. If you are new to the channel, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe. Share this stream with as many people as you possibly can. This is a very important stream that I'm doing on my channel. Probably one of the most important live streams I ever do. Because as y'all know, when I do live streams, usually I'm by myself and I'm talking about different news stories that come out. But rarely do I ever get to be in the presence of someone who I feel is like just changing the game. Now, this individual that I have sitting to my right, he is just, I can't even put into words. Like when I was reading this guy's story on Black Enterprise, one of my subscribers had sent me the story, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the commentary, but I literally could almost barely get through the story because I kept taking pause and breaks because I was just blown away by every major point that happened in your life. Like I was like, this guy is just like, I don't know how he does it, but it's just like it's almost like he's Superman, like in a way. But I'm sure that like every superhero, they have like we call the hero's journey. So everybody goes through their own little bumps in the road and things like that in order to achieve the amount of success that they want. But your story is very unique because I talk about various different things on my channel. The positive stories are kind of spaced out because they don't get pushed as much. So when I get a chance to talk about them, I definitely don't take it for granted. But it was something about your story that just kind of really hit home for me and for a lot of other people. So what I want to do right now is pass it over to you and just let you tell the people in the chat a little bit about your story.
Sure. Yeah, so first of all, I did catch the video. I sent it to my mom. My mom, she called me back crying. She's like, I'm so proud of my baby. That's so funny. So funny. Yeah, your commentary, I had to reach out. It's one thing to live the story and to hear it from someone else's perspective. I was like, man, I guess I did all right. I did all right. But to give some background about myself, I am the youngest of three kids. I have an older brother and an older sister. And my parents, we didn't grow up with the most money. Right here I'm in Dallas now. It's where my office is, but I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. So the Dallas Fort Worth area. We grew up there. My parents always pushed education and learning so that you can make something of yourself, which, that's ambiguity, but whatever. Whatever. Some of I've experienced, man, so many challenges in my life. And to be honest, many of those challenges were brought on by my own actions. So I'm not living under a facade that everything that happened to me was just because of circumstances. Now, so one of the things that's not mentioned in the story, but will be mentioned in my book is I actually became a father at 16.
Okay.
So I went through my final 2 years of high school as a father. And then I ended up going to the University of North Texas and pursued a business degree to go into accounting because I like numbers. Numbers made sense to me. People didn't. So I was like, I'm going to do this thing. Wasn't very focused when I was in college. I went there. I got through the first year, but the second year, I wasn't focusing on school. I was doing some other things, and I ended up actually having another kid. And my daughter, her name was Paige, and she lived for 3 days and she passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you, man. And from then, I just went down on a downward spiral. I just quit going to class. I would just play basketball all day or just mope in my room, and it ended up failing out. It was like, man, your GPA is lower than gas prices. You got to go. And I'm talking about gas prices in a recession.
Yeah.
So they put me out of there. So I had to go into the workforce. I was like, I had a kid.
Yeah.
That I had to take care of. Ended up having another one. So I'm like 20 years old with two kids. Like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do? I got this job at one of the largest copying manufacturers in the world. They gave me a job in accounts receivable. It was basically doing bill and reconciliation. The work was boring, very boring. Didn't pay a lot of money, but it got the bills paid. I wasn't in the best financial situation because I was making like $13 per hour, and my girlfriend at the time, she wasn't working. She was staying at home taking care of the kids because I couldn't afford daycare. Daycare was like a whole paycheck. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I did that for 3 years until the company decided they were going to close down operations and move operations to Orange County, California. And they came to me and said, Boyd, we heard really good things about you. Really good things. We want to offer you the opportunity to transition to Orange County. I was like, oh, heck yeah. But we can't give you no cost of living raise. We can't help you with relocation fees. I'm like, I'm making $13 per hour in Dallas, and y'all want me to go to the OC? Nah. So, needless to say, I didn't take the opportunity. I was unemployed.
Yeah.
But before I left, I did something that changed the trajectory of my career. I took advantage of an opportunity. The company I worked in was in Dallas, but operations was in New Jersey. Anytime computers or something would break, they would have to ship them to New Jersey, or somebody would have to fly in to fix them. So I was like, hey, these people that I'm working with, when their computers are down, they're twiddling their thumbs, and I have to do more work. So I'm gonna fix that problem. So I taught myself whatever was wrong with the application. I figured out it was a repeating process. So I figured out how to fix the computer application. And I was like, I might have something here. So I started getting really, really interested in computers. And then the iPhone came out, and then my mind just exploded for technology. So then I kept researching computers, how to fix them, all that good stuff. So I had a little bit of an IT background because of that. So when I was laid off, I just took it to the next level. This was like during when YouTube was first really getting popping.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm teaching myself how to repair computers, things about computer components. I'm finding scrap computers in my dad's garage. I'm borrowing people's machines. I'm just being very, very inquisitive about how this stuff works because I knew I wanted a career in it. And so I taught myself enough, and I found favor with some people at a small company. I went and interviewed. They said, hey, Boyd, I like your personality. I like you, but you don't have the experience that we're looking for, but we see something in you that can be cultivated. So we're going to give you the job, and we're going to teach you everything that you need to know.
That's
I was like,
amazing.
this is so amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
they hired me at that time at $40,000. So I went from $13 per hour unemployed to 6 months later landing a job at $40,000. And I felt like a king then. I was like, man, I'm making $20 per hour. This is real deal.
Yeah.
So it was at a small company and we were supporting local businesses in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and it was quite a few businesses, and there was so much technology involved. I worked there for a year, but the amount that I learned in that year was like 5 years worth of knowledge because
Mm-hmm.
it was like accounting firms, it was auto dealers, medical offices, all this stuff that I'm learning, and I just became a student of the occupation. I learned, and I implemented it, and I tried to use my skills to add value. And so I did that for a little while. Then I went over to a software company and I started working there. And yeah, Man, there's so much more. You can stop me.
Yeah,
You can stop me.
yeah.
If you have any
I know.
questions
I'm
about that?
no, listen, I'm so lost in what you're saying right now. That's like one of the reasons why I reached out to you because I said this man's story is very unique, and I come across so many stories all the time. But yours really, really stood out to me, which is why I said if there's any way that I could, speak with this guy, one on one and in front of my audience, that would be phenomenal. It's crazy how fast it happened too, because I
Mm-hmm.
just did the video last week, and
Yep.
my subscribers were on it. Like they said, okay, we're gonna try to find this guy and reach out to him. And then I had got a text from one of them, a screenshot saying, hey, this guy he's on YouTube. He did a video about you. He said that he wanted to speak with you. And then I saw the reply that you had gave to this person, and I was just like I literally, was at a loss for words because I didn't know what the response was going to be. But I'm definitely glad that you did decide to um, have this discussion with me today, and I'm also glad and very proud that my subscribers actually thought of me enough to actually want to, uh, do this interview with you, because like this is a story that needs to be told, and it's not unfortunately there's not a lot of outlets out there that's going to push a story like this, because that's not the stereotypical story. It's not
Mm-hmm.
negative. It's something that's very positive. And that's what I try to do on my channels. I try to have a little bit of a balance, because I do like news stories and everything like that. And the news can be very dark. So I
Yep.
wanted to have something that was very light and positive. And your story came along, and I was like, yeah, this is the one right here. This is definitely the one right here. I guess my one of my questions to you is how do you manage to balance all of this, because I know you have to have a lot on your plate. So how do you manage to balance, say, your business, I would say your business and corporate life with family, because I know you have a good size family.
I do. I do. I learned the hard way, man. So when I told you that I became a student of the occupation, I
Hmm.
was obsessed. It's like day and night. I'm looking at IT stuff, security standards. And at the time, I was married to my first wife, and we ended up getting divorced, man, because I was not spending time with the family.
Hmm.
I wasn't. But we had three kids together, and I ended up having another kid with my current wife. When we got remarried, not remarried, we got married. I've been married for 7 years now, but I learned, some of the lessons I've learned have been the hard way. And
Hmm.
so now one of the things that people don't realize is with my company, I'm not the president of Baxter Clewis. My wife is.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's very interesting to know. And I
Oh,
like
she's
that
a,
and I'm liking that you're keeping it in the family. Like that's very good. It's not like you got like maybe some like outside source to help you run this. Like you keeping it within, and maybe it could be something that if it sticks around for a while, then it could be something you could pass down to your daughters.
that's the plan that I want to do. So yeah, me and my wife, she's a brilliant HU grad, business school. Um, we employ people from our church. It's like we are a wealth hub distributor. If we just hear an inkling if somebody has a business idea, we're gonna jump on it. We're gonna help you implement that thing because we're about building wealth for the kingdom.
That was one of the
But
things that I read in the article, was that part right there really that's what confirmed for me how solid you were. Like you literally like you just said, you're building a wealth hub. That's
Mhm.
something that many people would not have in their vocabulary, is wealth hub. They might have a hub for something else, but wealth hub, that's just interesting. So you have your wife, you said your wife is running the
Yep.
company,
Yep.
and you have employed people from your church, and
Yep.
y'all have a wealth hub. To the people in the chat, I hope y'all are taking notes because
Yep.
this is amazing.
Yeah, I don't believe. I actually made this post on my Facebook today. Somebody tells me that they're broke. It's like, you're not broke. You just lack creativity. There is
Mm,
more than enough money in the world for everybody to be successful. It's just
exactly.
those that take those ideas and implement them. You might fail. The first one might not work. You might implement it, then it might work. Like I started my training academy in 2017.
Hmm.
And in the last 18 months, we made more money than we did like in the first 4 years.
Wow.
So it's all about timing.
Yeah, and it's definitely that also shows that the formula that y'all have going on over there is definitely working. Like it's definitely, a well-oiled machine, and like we always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So as long as it's continuing to go the way that it is, and it seems like it's really, running the way that it needs to, then nothing needs to be changed. Like why switch up the formula?
Oh
And
yeah.
and speaking of like how things was ran, was how did your company, like how did the company get affected from last year's, I guess you could say, transgressions, if at all,
Oh, what do you mean last year's transgressions?
like with COVID and everything like that?
Oh man, we blossomed, man. We made like over $1 million. Like, uh, we
Oh,
blossomed.
see, that's real good to know, and that's why I always say that it's very good to get into places where if something like that does happen, it doesn't affect the flow of your business, if a little, but to or maybe not even at all. So that is definitely very good to hear.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and one of the things that I did that most people probably think is crazy, I started my business while I was working at a consulting firm, and I had a very high, like multiple six-figure salary. I quit that job in the pandemic, but not only did I quit the job, but I was so good at what I did, the company had no choice but to sign a contract with my now company. So I quit my job and got a raise. So it's like I tell people,
wow.
you have to be so undeniably good at what you do that it don't matter if people like you, it don't matter if they
Mhm.
respect you, they gotta pay you because nobody else can do what you do.
That's amazing. And I know why you said this would sound crazy, because people would hear that, oh, he quit a six-figure job. That's a lot of money to go and pretty much do his own thing. But on the flip side, the company that you just left is now coming to you.
Yep.
So that just shows how great and effective, and more so how much of an asset you were to that company. And they realized, wow, we lost the good one, but we still want to work with him. We know we can't get him back, working with us, but we can definitely work with him. So that's definitely, like, that's just simply just amazing. Can you tell my audience, because like I told you before we actually started the live, the importance it is for, and I'm gonna say Black people especially, how important it is when it comes to the STEM field.
Yeah. The man, it's crazy. I actually did this interview with Revolt TV a couple weeks ago with a guy named Caleb Anderson. Dude is 13 years old and he's a freshman at
I
Georgia
just
State, I
did a
believe.
video about him.
What?
I just did a video of, actually, as a matter of fact, not to cut you off, I actually did a video about him before I did the one about yours, and I have heard of him. And that
Mm-hmm.
his mind is like, I don't know what it is, but I definitely attribute it to him having a good upbringing. His parents,
Mm-hmm.
definitely played a huge part in it. They definitely saw the intellectual, I would say, talent that this kid has. But
Yep.
yes, he is like his mind is like, I don't. He's like a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, look, dude, I'm so proud of you. I got a kid your age, and all he want to do is play 2K. That's it.
I don't know what I was doing at 13. It wasn't what he's doing.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's going places. But what I would say the importance of STEM, like right now, the way the world is going, everything is going towards technology. I mean, we have cars that drive themselves.
Mm.
Trips to space is about to be like a trip to around the country. It's about to be normal. But we need people in positions to help manage this technology, secure this technology, and come up with new ideas to sustain the world and to keep it advancing technology. And the cool thing about this is what I've noticed is like these billionaires or whatever that are coming up with these companies and these ideas, they're looking for people that can think, not necessarily the ones that have all the bachelor degrees and all that good stuff. They're looking for intelligent people that can think, that can solve problems. And being in STEM is just one of those places where you can really make that happen. Even if you choose the path of cybersecurity, you don't have to necessarily go get a 4-year degree to do that. Just find a niche in that market and specialize in it and you can have long-term success. But there's millions of jobs in the STEM field right now that are unfilled because people just don't have the skills to fill it. So a huge opportunity for years to come.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying early before we got started. Now I understand why, when it comes to the STEM field, why a lot of like when I was in college, we would always wonder why did the STEM field constantly get all these grants and all these donations, and I'm talking about heavy funds, like from some big time donors. And we was wondering, why did they always get this money? Like what was it, so what was so special about the STEM field that was, set them apart from all the other, fields of study? And now, with what you just said and what I've seen, transpire over the years, even since me graduating from college, which was back in 2011, of course, that 10 years ago, so a lot has changed since then. I can understand why so much is pushed
Hmm.
into that particular field, which is why I now tell people, I said, y'all need to start maybe looking for, if you have a child that's maybe getting ready to go to college or something like that, have them look into, the STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I said, because the money is definitely there.
Yep.
But more so than anything, that's a skill that they can have, that they can take with them for years to come. So say that the money that they say that they want to make doesn't come right there, which, by the way, I know that in some STEM fields, like, they be prepared to pay you some very decent amount of money, depending on where you're getting in at. So, like, we know with your story that you were just telling me right now. And I think what makes your story so different is that you didn't. I think I read in your story that you went to school for something completely different.
Yeah, accounting.
Yes, so you went to school for accounting, and look at where you are now. You are in something that most people have to go to school for years to, get a degree. Some people may go for a master's. You have neither, and you are showing others how to do, and basically what I like to say, an Ivy League skill.
Yeah, when you put that way, I like it. I like it. Yeah, yeah.
So that is definitely very impressive. My next question to you is, like, um, if there was something that you could build, well, you don't have to say if you don't want to, because I know some people don't want to put their ideas and out there or anything out there. But if there was something that you could build that could help change the trajectory of society right now, that could really, like, say, help push society in the right direction, something life changing, what would it be?
Something life changing. What would it be? Uh, you know what? My challenge is, I think if education was more affordable, we would have more people in these STEM roles.
Mm,
But the problem is, it costs money to be able to instruct because there's resources like hosting platforms, all that good stuff. So
mm,
if there was some way that what was the word I'm looking at? I don't want to just say a good. If there was a platform that provided value that people could use to learn STEM skills to go out and get high paying jobs, and that'd be something that I would want to do. But the problem is most stuff that's free, it sucks.
yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, because it's like it's almost like it's at a default setting. So it's like, okay,
Right.
here's something right here. Yeah, so it's like, here's something that's free. So here's the free stuff. But if you get this premium, you're going to get this, and this, and this, and this. And the
Yep.
premium is going to be high. So and so I see, definitely understand what you're saying. Make something that's affordable within people's budget, within a good budget, especially since you know you had the opportunity to get into that particular space, and you want to make it as open as possible. You don't want to feel like you're shutting anybody out, and you're making it almost exclusive for the people that can afford it. I can attribute that back to people, like, especially with a lot of black people, and why they can only do basketball and football, because it's
Hmm.
affordable. Like,
Yep.
tennis, hockey, soccer, sports like that, where you don't see a lot of black people in, is because it's not because they can't do it. It's because they were in backgrounds where they could not afford to do it, because they are considered to be exclusive sports. So,
Yep.
so I definitely understand, and I can definitely agree that getting into this field is not cheap. It is not cheap by far. I'm sure there's definitely layers that you have to go through in order to get to even stage one.
Yep. Yep. Way too many hoops, man. And I don't think it should be that way.
And I think that's
I
what
don't.
kind of, and I think that's probably what kind of turns people away from doing stuff like that, and then they just fall back on something that they probably don't want to do. And I think that's why I like your stories, because even though you majored in accounting and you didn't finish your schooling, you didn't give up, and you found a lane that you actually did carve out for yourself. My next question is actually going back to it. Where do you think you would be right now if you did finish school? Like if you graduated with your accounting degree, do you think you would still be doing this, or would you just be an
Nope.
accountant?
Nope. I would probably be running an accounting firm. I've been an entrepreneur since I was in diapers, cutting grass and selling candy, selling books.
Mhm.
So I know I would be running a company somewhere, but it wouldn't be IT. Not at all.
Yeah, so you said you were pretty much born with that entrepreneurial gene. Like it was just always there. Like you always knew that you were going to be working for yourself. You was going to be doing, the hiring and whatnot. So that's definitely good, because a lot of people don't, because the society we live in. Go to school, get good grades, graduate. You might have a loan, you got to pay that loan. Then you got to,
Hmm.
go get a job to pay that loan. So it's like, it's like a rat race and running on that wheel. But you found something that ended up working for you and your family. You're establishing clearly generational wealth. And I think that's the other part that I really like, is that outside of just doing what you're doing right now, you're helping others do the same thing that you did. You're not making it just exclusive to just you. It's not like you're being the gatekeeper of this, because anything that builds up, like over time, can easily fall just as fast
Yep.
as it was built. So my question to you is, what is the ultimate goal for others who may, like, say, come to you maybe for maybe an apprenticeship, or maybe kind of like a mentor? Like, if anyone has come to you about that, what kind of advice would you give them?
My advice to them. So first of all, the end goal is what our mission is, and our mission is to help IT professionals achieve financial security by becoming cybersecurity specialists. So that's the mission. That's my end goal for anyone that enters my program. I want you to believe and achieve what you thought was unattainable. Work with me for a few months and achieve it. But my advice to someone else would be, don't be afraid to carve out your own lane and specialize. If you take the traditional advice that most people will give from an IT career, they'll tell you go get an A plus certification, get a network plus, and a security plus. And so I'll ask people, okay, let's just snap our fingers, pretend like you have the certification. What you gonna do? I'm gonna go apply, and I'm like, look, you're gonna be going and interviewing and competing against millions of people that have the same
Mhm.
certifications. But if you specialize, you can differentiate yourself, and you can walk into that interview with authority. Like, hey man, nobody can do this better than me. I'm a specialist at this particular discipline. It will set you apart and change your income. So I just want to challenge people's thinking to not only specialize, but to understand the why behind what they do.
Exactly.
What most IT people that they don't realize, they get upset instead of looking at the bigger meaning. For example, when I worked in like the help desk areas, I would have a manager that would tell me, "Hey man, I need you to install the patches on that system at 2 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, man, I can do way more technical stuff than this guy. I'm smarter than this dude. Why is he making more money than me? And it took me some years to realize it's all about business intelligence. I understand how to hit the keys to make the thing work. He understands me hitting those keys, installing those patches, removes vulnerabilities from critical assets that saves the companies millions of dollars by avoiding a breach. He
Mhm.
gets that. I didn't. That insight will get you paid. So you got to go beyond being a tech guy. You need to
Mhm.
understand business.
And that's pretty much what it all boils down to. Like, you have to be one step ahead. You can't just be a surface level thinker. You have to think beyond the surface, below the surface, at the surface, and you just have to be prepared, because you just never know what's going to happen. Like you said, you were doing more of the technical stuff, but that person definitely had a one up over you because they knew the business more than you did. So one thing that I really am glad about is that with that experience, you just didn't like roll over and just take it and say, "Oh, this isn't for me." You said, "Okay, I'm gonna go and challenge myself, and I'm going to go out and learn the business. And then once I get it, and it's ingrained in my head, I'm going to challenge others to do the exact same thing." So I'm glad that you are challenging people to actually think further and outside of the box instead of just
Mm-hmm.
thinking within their own realm, because that's how people develop levels of comfort. And they
Yep.
always say that if you really want to achieve success, you have to get to a level of being uncomfortable. I always hear that, like um, you never want to get complacent. You never want to get to a point where you hit a plateau and feel like
Never.
you can like when I hear a plateau, I always thinking like working out and stuff like that. You never want to get to a point where you feel like you hit a wall and you can't find a way to break down that wall and get to the next level. So I'm
Yep.
definitely glad that you implemented that. Where do you see your company within the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, man, I can see us having thousands of success stories and probably some physical locations.
Mm-hmm.
Once the pandemic and everything clears up, I want to establish some physical locations and teach people what I'm doing so we can spread this to more people, because you don't have to have technical skills when you understand what we do, and the income that my students have been achieving is life changing. Some of these people are making 50, $60,000, and like to them that's grand, but to be able to double that without having to go get a 4-year degree, man, that's just something it's unheard of. And a lot of skepticism because of it, man. I get trolled on the internet all the time. I was like, it's your
Mm-hmm.
loss, dude. Whatever.
Right. Because they don't
Whatever.
believe, because they don't believe that is real. So
Yeah, they
like
have they impose their own limiting beliefs on me.
people are fun, people are weird. But yeah, people are definitely weird. So right now you said you don't have a physical location now, or you have one, but you just have one.
Yeah, so the physical location we have right now is the corporate office, but all of our training and consulting is done online. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
hoping to get to a place where we'll have physical locations to bring people in, and maybe even secure some outside funding so that maybe we'll be able to offer what we do for free.
Oh, that I can definitely say that I'm speaking it into existence. That is definitely going to happen. What locations, as far like, do you have an idea like of cities and states that, or even other countries that you would want to have these physical locations in?
Not really right now, but I know at least one place, of course, it would be Dallas. But I would really want to put my academies in locations that are populated with people that look like me. I want to give
Hmm.
more people of color opportunities in the cyberspace that didn't believe that they could actually achieve this. I've talked to too many people that said, "Man, I'm not smart enough to do that." Like,
Hmm.
if you can use a grocery list, if you can follow directions, we can teach you how to do this.
Yeah, and it's probably because they probably had people in their ear telling them that they couldn't do something, and naysayers, they're going to do that because they always have a way to put you inside of a box and say this is what's carved out for you, this is for you. Don't even bother looking in this direction because like it's going to be pointless. It's going to be a waste of time. It's going to be a waste of money. It's going to be like don't even bother trying to do it. So I'm glad that you are actually giving some assurance and telling people that you can do this. Look at me. I came from an accounting background, didn't finish it, but that's what I started out as. And
Right.
now look at what I'm doing right now. I left accounting in the dust. Accounting who? Like I have to like I have to go out and I have an accountant, that does the accounting for me. So that's definitely just simply amazing. Like I said, your story is just one for the books. And speaking of book, you said that you have a book coming out. Do you want to go into a little bit of detail about your book?
I can't give too much detail. I'm
I mean,
actually
well, you don't. I mean, I know that you're still working on it, so you can't tell everything. I didn't expect you to say everything, but you threw it out there that you have a book coming out. So,
yeah. So the book will be coming in 2022, and it's actually going to be in stores and everything. It's not just going to be an ebook. This is going to be a really really big thing. We're
Hmm.
working with a very, very well known publisher, really to capture the essence of my story about perseverance to inspire others to do the same. Because a lot of people that come in contact to me, they think I have like some master's degree or something like that. I'm like, bro, I got a high school diploma. I'm not trying to hear that you can't do this. I ain't trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear
Hmm.
it. And so when people have heard my story after they read the Black Enterprise thing or just having conversations with me, that gave them the confidence to pursue things that they thought were unattainable. And that's what I want to do. I just want to, yeah, to share my story, man, so other people can see that it's possible to succeed.
Well, I will definitely be getting your book for sure, and I'm gonna try to get the. I'm gonna see if I can get the Audible version. And will it be an Audible version?
Yep, it will.
Okay, I'm trying to get the Audible version and the hard copy. I want both. I want to support as much as I possibly can. I like hearing stories like this. I like reading stories like this, and like you said about perseverance, that's such a powerful word, especially when you know where you came from. You came from this, and you could have chose to just stay there, but you chose another route, which in some cases could be seen as rare, and you decided to propel your life into the direction that it is right now. And like they say in Dragon Ball Z, you're not even in your final form.
we
You
got
would
places
know.
to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not over nine. You're not even over 9,000.
Yeah.
So like you're definitely headed in the right direction.
I'm
But
gonna be sure to send you an autograph copy next year. I
oh,
got you.
see, y'all, the connection has already been established. I'm about to get an autograph copy. Like, where is this happening at? But I definitely, really do appreciate that. But is there anything else that you wanted to add in there? Because I'm pretty much out of questions, and to be honest, I didn't even prep for this. This was just I was just like a flow of a conversation.
It's cool. It's cool. Uh, the only thing I had is like, if there's something that you want to accomplish, don't look to others for validation if you can do it or if you can't. As a child, I came up like the life that I live right now. I was telling people since I was like 13 I would live this life, and they did not believe. And
Mm-hmm.
their doubts and limiting beliefs, they still play in my mind to this day. But I had to prove them wrong. So much so that before I go on a stage, I like look in the mirror and I tell myself that this is real. You earned it,
Mm-hmm.
just to block out those naysayers that subconsciously still there. I don't care how successful you are, you got to guard your mental space. So
Yeah.
just look internally for that push to move forward and don't seek outside validation.
That's some very sound advice and very sound words, and I'm sure anybody who has had a chance to hear you speak and tell even just a little bit of your story, and I'm sure once they get your book, they'll be able to really take that with them. Like, I have a feeling that when your book gets released, you're going to get flooded with a lot of messages of people saying thank you, because it hit home for me. Your story is kind of on the same scope as mine, or maybe I felt a little bit lost, and your book was a roadmap to find me on the pathway to success. So, I'm definitely appreciative for you for coming on to my platform today. I know that you are a busy individual, and I'm glad that you were able to take time. I'm glad that my subscribers reached out to you and like kind of put a bug in your ear. I'm glad that you reached back in a very quick amount of time, because it was just a couple days ago, like what, a couple days ago, when I had reached out to you. I got your contact information. We talked through text and email and whatnot. So now I feel like I said the connection has been established. You said you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna send me an autographed copy of your book.
Yep.
So I'm definitely glad that you were able to come on here and make history on my channel. Like I said, you're the first person I interviewed. First
Yeah, I
of many,
appreciate
I
it.
hope. First of many, I hope. But with that being said, I'm gonna just let you go ahead and end it, because I know you got some things you have to do. You changing the world. Yeah.
I'm trying. I want to leave this place better than I found it.
I hear that.
Yep. Yeah,
All
I
right.
appreciate everybody tuning in. You have a great group of subscribers. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
bringing this to my attention. When I saw the initial video, I was blown away. I was like, "What? This is so cool! This is so
Oh yeah,
cool!"
oh yeah,
So I
because you had told
just,
me because you had told me you didn't know about StreamYard. So
yeah,
yeah, so now you
yeah,
see you learned something new today, because you was used to the Zoom. So
yep.
like StreamYards is fairly good for doing stuff like this. It's good, like I said, it's sort of like Zoom.
I dig. I
Uh,
dig. Yeah, so I'm just honored to be here, share my story, and
I'm glad you
inspire
are,
others to reach their potential, their full
and that's what
potential.
and that's what it's all about, especially from a black man, because a lot of times we get stereotyped
Yep.
in the media and all types of other things. So it's good to hear. It's refreshing. So But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go because, like I said, I know you have other things you have to tend to. I'm just glad that you were able to take out just a few minutes of your day to have a discussion with me and talk to my audience. They are enjoying it, like they are going in the comment section right now. They are loving it, and I know they're gonna go in again once this video goes off. But with that being said, you have a good one. This will not be the last time we talk.
Not at all. Thank you. I appreciate
All right,
it.
all right, you have a good one.
You too.